Hi, I'm Vaila, and we're going to go through an hour's Jivamukti class with a particular focus on trying to find calm and grounding. So let's begin standing at the front of the mat. Not necessarily in your hugely rigid Tadasana, but allow your feet to be hip distance apart, your knees to be soft, and your body weight to just drape over the skeleton so that your flesh is sort of melting like warm honey. And we're going to begin just to warm up slightly by shaking out our joints. So shake out your hands like you're wringing a little bit of water off your hands. Maybe start to bounce into your knees as well, so it becomes a vigorous whole body movement. So you might start to feel like the blood's already beginning to pump into the fingertips as the circulation begins. And you start to soften off the joints and loosen off the synovial fluids so that blood and oxygen can pass through the body. And then you might want to bring in a little bit more movement. So start to introduce your elbows and your shoulders and start to make it a full body shaking. You can even introduce your jaw by softening the tongue and slackening the mouth. And just start to play around with it. Be fun with it. The advantage of not being in a busy yoga studio is that you can stay at home and make as funny noises as you like. So maybe make it really fast and vigorous, or really just strong and let it all throw out the limbs. So this is a practice called wild pony shaking. And it's really good for starting to get the circulation going, starting to bring fluidity to the body, but also so good for clearing out the lymph system, which doesn't have a pump of itself. So by shaking out the body, we're able to cleanse out some of that stagnant toxins that sit residue. So really, really good for general health and well-being and boosting your immune system. It's also really good for building strength in all of the bones, which are responsible for optimizing your bone marrow. So all of those lovely white blood cells. So just do this for a few more minutes. Start to shake it off. It's really lovely to do this from a physiological point of view, but if you want to make it even more powerful, you might want to bring an intention. So shake off something, whether it's emotional, energetic, physical, just let it go. 5 more seconds. Let it go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then just pause. You can allow your eyes to close for a moment and to just feel the difference. Feel the difference in your body. Feel the difference in your mind. And start to feel yourself becoming rooted to the earth. In times where we can feel anxious or uncertain, our energy gets diverted up to the mind. So it's calming to bring the attention back down to our feet. Soften the belly. And allow that soothing, full belly breath to expand like a radius coming from the navel center. Feel your feet from your feet. Feel the strength of the bone as you firm your pressure on the earth, pushing down slightly, and feeling a natural elevation through the crown of the head. I'm going to do a practice called clearing and filling from Qigong, which allows our energy to be balanced. So take a deep breath in, reach your arms out to the side, and gather up anything that you need to clear from the system, anything that destabilizes you, takes balance away from your body or your mind, anything that doesn't bring you health, anything that you do not need to carry. And then press it, clear it out of the system by bringing the palms towards the earth and pushing it to the ground like a cafe press. Letting all the grains settle. Clearing. And then filling up. Gather in what's good, gather in what's nourishing, what's energizing, what brings you vitality, what brings you balance, what brings you calm. And then fill yourself up from the head down to the belly, pouring in all that goodness to the vessel that's your body. And then finally sealing what you've filled up, bringing a bubble of rose gold light around the body, protecting all that's nourishing, and avoiding getting depleted and pulled away from your center. Bring your hands to your heart and set an intention for the practice. If there's not a particular intention that comes to mind, perhaps to feel grounded and centered in yourself. Take a deep breath in, sigh it all out. Wet your lips. And breathe in to prepare for one deep Om. And then start to take a deep breath in as you raise your hands to the sky. And exhale, fold forward and touch the earth. Allow the weight of your head to drop down to the earth, the weight of your hands to drop down to the earth. And feel the strength of your feet as they ground into the earth. As you breathe in, you might find a natural inclination to press down and expand and radiate into a flat back. And as you exhale, you might find a natural softening that draws you back into yourself. Take 3 more breaths, breathing in to expand through the back of the body and the back of the legs. And then exhale, fold, allowing your knees to be soft. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale, and as you do so, root your hands firmly into the earth. Press through your arms, through the palms of the hands, and step back to a downward facing dog. Begin with very soft knees to start, and allow your tailbone to reach up really high to the sky. As your tailbone reaches away from the earth, you can allow your head to drop and sink, like there's a pile of cushions underneath you, and you're just letting the weight of the skull drop down. Then start to affirm the pressure in your hands as you feel that pressure pour up through the bones into the shoulders. And root your feet backwards, opening up the back of the legs into your downward facing dog. Take 5 more breaths here. Exhale. With every inhale, you might feel a natural expansion and radiating out. And with every exhale, you might find a little bit more of a sense of rooting down and softening. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. One more breath. Exhale and bend your knees deeply as you take your gaze to the front of the mat. Really push in through the palms and bring your attention to your hips while you gaze forward. Hinging from your shoulders, try and lightly hop your feet to the front of the mat and set up in a squat position. So bring your hands to a prayer and use your elbows to open up a little bit of space in the hip flexors. So there's a lovely horizontal line happening across the body. But also try to imagine the vertical line as your feet press into the ground and your skull lifts tall. Your hands try and draw downwards towards your heart as your heart lifts up over your hands. Take 3 more deep breaths in here, imagining that radiating cross. Inhale for 2, lengthening. Exhale, rooting. One last breath in here, and then exhale. Place your hands firmly on the mat in front of you and start to come up onto your tiptoes as you hug your knees up into your armpits. Put a strong pressure to the outer arms and a slight bend in the elbows as you take your gaze forward and start to hinge your weight forward into the palms. Can you feel that pressure transfer from the hands up through the arms into the shoulders? And when you feel like there's enough stability, you can start to raise one foot and then the other foot. Or you can just take it in turns to try one foot, then the next foot. Or just play with hovering. Take 2 more breaths. And then either step or spring back to your plank. And then rise up, drawing back to your downward facing dog. Take your gaze to the front of the mat with soft knees again, and hop your feet to the front. Inhale, raise your arms up fully to the sky. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, allow the body weight to sink to the left, bending your left arm as you drop your whole body weight to the earth. And then take your gaze to the right side of the mat. And leading from your left armpit, raise your armpit up to the sky as your arms follow to full standing stretch. Like you're carrying a water wheel around, follow all the way around as you twist. And then rise. Without falling over. And then exhale, folding to the side. Twice more towards the left. Always leading with the left armpit rather than the hands. And allowing the pressure of your feet to guide the movement back up to the sky. On the next fold, start to rebound a little bit on the earth and coming up the other direction, leading with your right armpit. And then exhale with soft knees all the way down. 3 more circles with full breath. Then bring your hands to the center and back to your heart. Take a deep breath in, raise your hands high. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. And exhale, step the right foot back to a long lunge. Take a deep breath in as you lengthen the body. Exhale, step the left foot back to a downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Feel the skull reach forward as the tailbone reaches back. Soften the elbows and sink forward as your gaze lowers. Inhale, raise to your upward facing dog. Exhale, roll back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward again into your plank. Exhale, lower your knees, dive your chest and chin in front of your hands. Slither forward, press down with the pubic bone and open the heart. Exhale, push back with your hands to child's pose. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward with the right foot. Exhale, moonwalk the left foot to the front of the mat and fold. Inhale, raise your arms up high to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to the heart. Press down with your feet as you reach your arms up high. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen to a flat back. And then exhale, step the left foot back into a long lunge. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, reaching the skull away from the tailbone. And then exhale, press the right foot back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Reaching the skull forward, lower through press. Inhale, rolling upward facing dog. Exhale, rolling back downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward again into plank. Lower your knees to the ground and dive your chest and chin in front of your hands. Slither the nipples forward, press your pubic down to cobra. And push back to child's pose. Forward to downward facing dog. And then stepping the left foot forward. Moonwalk the right foot to the front of the mat. And then raise your arms up high to the sky. Back to your heart. Hook your thumbs, breathing in, reach your hands up high. Soften the knees, exhale, fold forward and bring your hands behind your body into a forward fold, opening up the back of the legs and the arms. Hands to the mat, step your right foot back into a long lunge. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Exhale, lower through press. Inhale, rising to your up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, slither forward to cobra. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Exhale, bring the left foot to meet. Hook your thumbs, soften the knees and reach your hands to the heavens. Exhale, fold forward on the other side, hands behind your back, opening up the legs and the arms. Inhale, hands press into the earth and you step your left foot back into a long lunge. Exhale to your downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rolling over to your up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Slither forward to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Exhale, bring your right foot to meet. Hook your thumbs, reach your hands up high to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Step your feet to that hip distance apart again and start to soften the knees and bring yourself back to that watery sensation of the body weight dropping off the skeleton. Imagine you're shifting the weight through the skeleton all the way under the earth into the left foot. And then like a little puppeteer, can you begin to reach your right knee up high to the sky, coming into crane. Exhale, push that right foot back. Lower the back heel to the earth and reach your arms forward like you're offering up a gift to the heavens. Squaring the hips and feeling your back heel rooting down. You might be able to find a little bit more length. 3 more breaths here. Exhale. Inhale from the crown, reaching forward, and the tailbone reaching back. 1 more breath. See if you can offer that gift a little bit further away from your body. Exhale. And then opening out into your warrior 2. Allow your tailbone to sink and drop. And allow the body to feel like it's radiating out from its 6 limbs, expanding all the way to the edges of the hands, through the feet, the top of the skull and the tail. 2 more breaths, breathing in. Exhale. Feel your connection to the earth as you stabilize and root. And then on the next inhale, opening up to exalted warrior. Sink down through the left foot and see if you can reach your left fingertips a little bit further behind, like you're grabbing berries from a tree. Take 5 breaths in here. Again, radiating out from the navel to each of the edges of your body. You have the option to wrap your arm around the back of your body and find your hips. Or just keep it extending down the back of your right leg. After 5 breaths, spiral around, bringing your left elbow to your left knee and reaching your right arm forward. For a moment, keep the hips and the shoulders square as you ground that right heel down and try and reach your right fingertips a little bit further forward. And then press down through the left elbow as you elevate the body away from your knee, look under your armpit, and extend your fingers from your heel. Breathing in, exhale for 2. As you exhale, fold forward and straighten your front legs so your head and your hands drop to the earth. They should be dropping like a plumb line, sort of in line with your left knee. From here, start to draw a line up your left arm as you raise your heart, draw a line up your heart, reach your fingers to the sky, coming into your triangle. If you feel like you're leaning your triangle too far to the side, push down through your feet and lift up through your right fingertips and lengthen from every edge of your fingers and feet. Breathing in and breathing out. 1 last breath. Exhale. Breathing in, bring your hands both flat to the earth. Pivot your back heel up off the ground and allow your body weight to sink up high, sink into the ground as you push into your feet and reach your hands up high to your high lunge. Take 5 breaths in here as you reach your skull high, your fingers high, and allow your tailbone and heels to drop. Inhale for 4. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Sinking a little bit deeper with every exhale. 1 last breath. And then root your hands to the earth. Send the body weight forward and raise your top leg into a standing split. Now you can stay here for 5 breaths, or if you wish, you can take a few bunny hops and start to lift up towards your handstand. Can you cut that? And then after 5 breaths, you start to curl that back leg so you're coming into a tiny ball and bring your hands into your heart. If you're feeling unstable here, you can keep your hands on the earth. Otherwise, on the next inhale, you're going to radiate out into Warrior 3, reaching your fingertips forward and your back heel away. And then as you exhale, bring your hands back into your heart as you curl into a little ball. 3 more breaths as you swim forward. And then exhale, drawing it all in. Inhale. Exhale, wrapping all the way around. 1 last breath in here. And then exhale, wrap your hands towards the earth and spiral that back leg behind into a seated spinal twist. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, twist to the left-hand side. Use your left hand as support and wrap your right elbow around the knee. Now you can just stay here and give yourself a little wave, or you can place the palm on your hand palm of your hand onto your heart and allow your heart to soften. Allow a little bit of space in the back of the body to open up as you draw your gaze to the earth. Breathe into the back of the lungs as you feel your wings expand. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Exhale. And release. Give yourself a little counter pose to the right-hand side. And then either hopping or jumping or skipping or simply stepping back to your downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa through and allow yourself to notice any difference between the left and the right-hand side. Bend your knees, take your gaze forward, and hinging from the hips and the shoulders, hop the feet to the front of the mat. Start to rise your hands to the heavens, and as you lower them, allow your body weight to sink and settle. Feel that transition of weight move under the earth as you press into your left foot and raise your right knee to the sky. Start to reach your hands forward and lower your back heel to the earth. Offering a gift up. Press your heel down and reach the skull, the crown, and the fingers forward. Take 3 more breaths in here. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale. And release. I've just done the same side. Just noticed. Can I do that bit again? Can you edit? So sorry.
Sorry?
I just did the wrong side.
Okay. Do you remember when you started to forget?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So I could go back to a downward facing dog and then jump.
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure. But next time, imagine you're in a class, so even though you confuse, you can say, oh, okay, and then you come back to as usual. Don't
Okay.
worry about, we will, like, if I have to do more edits, it's going to be
I know.
impossible, because I'm going to be having, like, more than, tomorrow I probably have 10 teachers.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, just come back to that.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I'll try to remember.
Okay. Okay. Start to walk your feet forward and then raise your hands up to the sky. As you bring them back down to the earth, let your weight settle. Start to sink the weight underneath your right foot. And like a little puppet master, raising your left knee into the sky and coming into crane. Pushing that back heel away, lowering it to the earth and reaching forward into a warrior 1 variation. Imagine you're offering that gift up as far as it will go. And in order to do that, you really need to press down with your back heel. Press the heel and the tail away as the crown and the fingers reach forward. Breathing in for 2 more breaths. See if you can imagine the spine lengthening. And then on the next exhale, opening out into your warrior 2. Letting the tailbone sink and letting the shoulders soften, but allowing space in the body by radiating out from the fingertips, the feet, the crown, and the tail. 2 more breaths, breathing in and letting go. Inhale. And release. Reach your back hand behind you, coming into your exalted warrior. Sending your right foot into the earth, right knee reaches away as your right fingertips reach behind you to gather some fruit from those trees. Breathing in And reaching out. 2 more breaths. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On the next inhale, spiral that right elbow around and reach the left fingertips forward. Squaring the hips, squaring the shoulders. Try and press the heel as your fingers reach forward. And then look under your armpit as you lengthen through the whole spine. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale, 1 last breath. And then exhale, fold forward and straighten that front leg. Allow the head and the hands to drop. And find a plumb line in line with your knee. As you draw a line up through your right arm, over your heart, and reach your fingertips up to the sky, lifting up to triangle from the ground upwards. If you're leaning too far forwards, press down through the feet and lift up through the fingers. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale for 1. Exhale, bring your hands to the earth. Bend your front knee, pivot onto your back foot. Feel the weight sink through your toes and engage the bones as you hinge up to your high lunge. Take 5 breaths in here as the crown and the fingers lift and the tail drops. Soft breathing through the belly. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in and letting go. Bring your hands to the earth. Send the weight into your hands, the weight into your right foot as you raise your left leg. Staying here for 5 breaths, or you can bunny hop your leg up to a handstand. If you're in your forward fold, in your standing split, you can start to play around with your balance, maybe lifting your fingers off the ground or holding your ankle. And if you're in a handstand, starting to return back to your standing split. Start to bend deeply into your right foot, curling the left leg around you. And if you have the balance, bring the hand to your heart in a prayer. On the next inhale, press your hands forward and your heel away, swimming into your warrior 3. And then exhale, wrapping around into your tiny bowl. Following the breath for 3. And then exhale, wrapping into a little bowl. Inhale. And then exhale, going with the wobbles. If you feel a wobble, just sink into it. 1 more breath, inhale. And then exhale, bring both hands to the ground and curl your back leg, coming into a seated spinal twist. Allow that back right hand to root you into the earth as your left elbow hooks around the knee. Give a wave and then hold your heart. Let the heart soften and then breathe into the back of the lungs. 5 calming breaths as you find space. On the last breath, make it count. Make it as broad and rich as possible. As you unfurl, give yourself a little counter pose to the other side. Place your hands on the mat, and you can step back into a child's pose or take 1 last vinyasa. Coming through your plank, and then rising up. Drawing back to downward facing dog. And then everybody reaching forward, everybody in plank as you slowly lower all the way down to the earth. Allowing your whole body to drop. Keep your hands where they are. Lift your back leg off the ground. First the right leg. Feel like somebody's pulling the right leg away from you out of the hip socket and then lower it to the ground. Then lift the left leg off the ground. Feel that leg pull out of the hip socket and lengthen and then lower. And then again with the head, allow your head to lift slightly. Feel the crown being pulled forward as the hands, the shoulders and the elbows draw backwards. And then bring the legs in to meet. So as much length as there is height here. Allow the belly and the pubic bone to press into the earth. So the pressure on the hands is quite light. You could almost take them off the ground and wriggle here. 2 more breaths. See if you can imagine every breath lengthening the spine. And then exhale, lower to the ground. Take another breath in. Lift your head and your heart. Lift your legs off the ground. See if you can bend the knees, flex the feet so that the soles of the feet are facing the ceiling. Lift those soles a little bit higher, like they're trying to hold up the ceiling. And then reach your hands behind you. See if you can wriggle until you find your ankles without twisting the body too much. And then kick into your Dhanurasana. 5 breaths. Using the tension like a bow and arrow to allow yourself to elevate a little bit higher. Inhale for 2. Exhale. Inhale for 1. Exhale. Allow your head to drop to the ground. Let your arms drop to the side. Give your hips a little bit of a wriggle from side to side. I'm going to come up again, and you can choose to do that in the same way. Or if you wish, you can bring your arms alongside your body so that your palms are facing outwards from your body. Then raise your legs and reach your hands in between the insides of your foot. So you're taking your ankles from the inside. And then lifting up for 5 breaths. Exhale for 5. Inhale. Exhale for 4. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 2. 1 more breath. And then release. Give yourself a little bit of a wriggle from side to side. Then reach your right arm forward and use it to slowly roll onto your back. You might need to reposition yourself slightly, so wriggle yourself back into the mat and allow your feet and arms to sink into the ground. Heels hip distance apart, toes facing forwards, and knees towards the ceiling. Begin to push down through your feet first of all, so that you're not lifting from the pubic bone first of all. It's almost like a rebound from the pressure of the heels pushing down, so that the pubic bone starts to elongate without any effort. And then you can bring your hands into a fist underneath your body. Use that fist to reach forward and find space between your shoulders and your ears. And then also to reach down so that you can press into the earth and guide your pubic bone a little bit higher. 2 more breaths here. Let it go. Inhale. And release. Now you have the option here. You can stay and do another bridge pose. You can find a few cushions or blocks or tins of baked beans and prop it underneath your tailbone and rest in a more restorative option. Or if you wish, you can come into a full wheel. If you're coming into a full wheel, begin as you're coming into bridge, lifting your pubic bone, and then place your hands either side of your head, fingers pointing towards your elbows. Root the palms down into the ground as you come up onto the skull of the head. Allow your elbows to squeeze together so that they're not spraying out to the side. And then with, again, the effort focusing on pressing down into the hands rather than up, can you allow the natural rise to happen and hold for 5 breaths. After 5 breaths, bring your chin to your heart. And slowly roll back down to the earth. Bring your hands onto your belly, allow your feet to drop to the side, and your knees to just windscreen wiper from side to side. Then can you cross your right foot over your left, crossing your knees over each other. Lift the butt cheeks off the ground and move them over to the right-hand side. Allow the knees to drop over to the left. Your gaze and your right arm to drape to the side. Take 3 more soft breaths. As you surrender the weight of your shoulder to the earth. And then breathing in, coming onto the other side. Unfurling your legs. Bringing your knee to the earth. Shuffling your butt cheeks over to the left. Dropping your knees to the side. Opening your arms and taking your gaze to the left. Few soft breaths to allow everything to drop and settle to the ground. And then bring both knees to your chest. Give them a little squeeze. And then start to roll the back of the body from side to side, and back and forth. Bring your head to your knees and start to get a little bit of momentum until you come up to a seated position. Start to lengthen the skull as you drop the tailbone down. Then draw your right knee in towards your chest. Drop your right knee out to the side as the sole of the foot presses into the thigh. Hands to the sky. And then instead of trying to bring your head down, can you strike the head forward, lengthening the spine until you can't go any more. Then pause, take a breath, and fully release to the earth. Take 5 breaths as you allow the breath to guide your body to a place of stillness. And after 5 breaths, keep your left hand where it is as you raise your right arm up to the sky and let your gaze follow. Take the right hand to the back of the skull. Allow the weight of the head to drop into the hand and gently elongate the back of the neck. Take your gaze under your armpit. And if it feels comfortable, you can release the head and bring your right hand to meet your left. 2 more breaths here. And then release. Rolling up. Letting the right leg go. Bringing the left knee into your chest. And opening out to Janushirasana on the other side. Your arms lengthen. The crown lengthens. And when you feel like you can't lengthen anymore, you take a breath, pause and breathe. And then follow your body back down to the earth. 5 breaths here. And after your 5th breath, keep your right hand where it is. Raise your left to the sky. And then cradle the head with the left hand in the hairline. Drop the weight of the skull as you look under your armpit. Lengthening the back of the neck. And if it feels good, you can bring that left hand to join the right. Trying not to compromising all that space that you're making in the left side of your body. And then slowly rolling up. Bring both legs to the earth and come to lie on your back. You're going to come into a shoulder stand just to finish off the practice. And if that's not for you today, you always have the option to place a prop or a cushion underneath your tailbone and let your legs just dangle in the air as all the blood flows down the legs and returns back to the torso. For everybody else, you can swing your knees into your head and allow your knees to rest on the forehead whilst you position your hands either side of the spine. Elbows wriggle close together, hands work up towards your shoulders until you've got a lovely foundation. And then raise your legs to meet. I'm going to take 5 breaths, but you can stay a little longer if you wish. And then slowly lower to Halasana. Drop your knees either side of your head, using your arms as brakes. Slowly roll all the way back down to the earth. Let your legs drop down to the ground. Let your upper torso follow as you elevate yourself up into Matsyasana, cupping up onto your forearms. Allow the weight of the head to drop backwards until about 5% drops through the crown of the head. Open the heart. And then perhaps take 3 lines breaths here, breathing in, dropping the tongue. Breathing in. And one last breath. Slowly bring your head to your heart and return back down to the earth. Taking any last few movements you need to before you relax into Shavasana. When you feel like you've come to a final rest, just begin to let go. Let go of the weight of your body, let it drop to the ground. Let go of the effort of the mind. Let it soften like vapor. Let go of the breath. Let go of the breath as it drops to the ground like heavy dew onto the earth. Softening from the head to the toe. Letting yourself become heavy from the top of the head, through the neck, the arms, the back of the body, the bum, the legs. Allowing yourself to empty. Now you can stay here and rest a while. Or if you wish, you can begin to slowly peel yourself back up, bringing yourself back to an awakened state. Take a deep breath in, reach your hands to the sky. Take a huge big yawn. Hands to your heart. And give thanks to yourself for taking the time to practice. Namaste.